Hey everybody, it's Jackal Wolf coming at you again in Academia School Simulator. Now they've just released the Alpha 2 update on this, and there's a bunch of brand new things in here that I thought I would try to showcase. But first things first, because it is such a big update, none of the previous saves will work. So I've got to pretty much start from scratch, which is not a big deal. But I thought that rather than try to do another Let's Play where I, build the office, build the classrooms, build the cafeteria again, which I've all done in previous Let's Plays. Please like and subscribe. There's Vito Navas from my previous episodes, all-time favorite janitor. But rather than, have you guys sit and, watch me go through the same, getting the same grants, building the same, rooms and buildings, I thought I'd just go as far as I could in this build mode without starting the school year. So basically get my school as set up as possible, and then next episode I will actually get into the gameplay, showing off some of the new things that they've got built into it. I was looking at them yesterday when I filmed this. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a few things. I know there's a couple of new items in there. Dumpsters are one. You'll see a little bit later on. One of the grants requires me to add another one, and I have quite a bit of trouble finding it, though. This is moving at about 8 times speed. I think I spent about 2 hours building up my school. 2 real hours anyways. 3 in-game days. So the school is probably about as far as I could get using the initial money, as well as any of the grant money that I get for completing, complete the classrooms, hire the teachers, hire the principal, all that fun stuff. So I was actually able to go quite a bit further than I thought I was going to be able to. I've got quite a few grants done. I ended up doubling up the classrooms so we can have twice as many students, hired twice as many teachers. So there's it definitely gives you a good opportunity to build up your school before you have to take any students. I remember playing Prison Architect, which is this has got a very, very Prison Architect feel to it. I remember starting out with that, and you've really got to when you're starting from the very beginning. You got to start really, really small and sort of work your way up while you've got prisoners coming. You don't have a whole lot of time until they show up. So this is like a welcome change. Like I said, I spent this entire video, I spent just building the school and getting it ready for the first day. I was quite happy with how it came out. I did make a mistake there. I've got the wrong brick pattern. It goes one way and then goes the other. But I wasn't too concerned about it. It does kind of look a little nifty. What else can we talk about here? This is where I'm looking at hiring the teachers. They have updated this part. Quite a few more options where you now hire teachers based on a particular subject. Rather than one teacher teaches every single class. So my initial set of teachers, I went middle of the road or 3-star, because I figured I'd want to go with as high as I could. The second set of teachers I hired a little bit later on, I just stuck with the just lower ones, because I was, again, at that point I was trying to conserve a little bit of money, because I do need to have a little bit of cash on me, when that first school day starts. Nobody really, super hilarious. There is a military guy in here. I can't remember what his name was, Colonel something. I can't remember what subject he teaches, but once we get into the actual gameplay videos, now that was the end of day little buzz there you might have heard in your speakers. I think it is the garbage truck showing up. It doesn't really show it there, but I think later on it becomes a little bit more obvious. But once we get into the actual gameplay, we'll look into the different characters, into the different students. I have not, did not start the school year. We'll start that off when the next episode comes out. But so far, everything here has been pretty much as it was before. I did notice it looks like they put in motivational posters. I don't know if they were there before or not, but I threw those in there in those classrooms. Later on, I throw some clocks in as well, though I think that is part of one of the grants. Have to add some clocks to the school anywhere, so I just threw them into the classroom. Gives the students something to stare at, I think. What else was new so far that we'd seen? There is, you might have seen it there. The main door is something new, at least new since I've played it last. It's probably been, I don't know, about a month, maybe 2 months since I last did a video in Academia School Simulator. But they've got the main doors, which is a 4-block wide, rather than just 2-block wide. And actually, that's the other thing, is they also added double doors, which I don't think were in there originally. You just have to put 2 single doors side by side. My understanding from what I've read a little while ago is that the double doors are, I guess it encourages people to use the main doors rather than any sort of side doors you might have in the building. Though we'll have to see how that works out when we start up the game, next video anyways. Don't know when I'm going to have a chance to record it, probably next weekend. So it could be coming out sometime next week. This is my second, I guess, speed build. I can see why people do them. It does take a little bit of the editing element out. It's not quite as difficult to edit. You just sort of, once you get things rolling, you just sit and talk about whatever. I should have planned on a few other things. Here we get the faculty lounge. There's also a staff lounge and a staff cafeteria, which the staff cafeteria for sure is new. Something I don't remember from before anyways. What else new did we notice in there? I mentioned about the garbage bin. Supposedly garbage has been revamped. It is not an infinite bucket anymore, so you will have to add additional garbage garbage bins to handle all your garbage. Speaking of, this is me trying to figure out where it is in the objects list. I did end up finding it. It looks a lot quicker than it actually was when I was looking for it in real time. I'm surprised at how sped up, how quickly it went by there. Staff toilets, I think that's something new as well. There is also, I build it here just in a moment, but there's the gender neutral toilet. That I do believe that was part of the last episode that I recorded, which was a little while ago anyways. This is probably me going through the grants, trying to figure out what I can do next. Again, something that will give me a little bit of money to continue on. This is the commons area. They've got a bunch of fences, and I don't remember if they had fences in there before. So I made a nice big outdoor common area. Lots of tables, lots of open space. I'm not too sure if there is anything else I can add into that common area, but just to, for the kids to interact with. We will see. Actually, I don't think I zoom in quick enough. This is the part, there's a buzzing that's going on here, and I want to say it's the garbage truck, but it lasts an awful long time. Not too sure, because it wasn't on when I was playing the game, so it's probably a sound that's being repeated over and over again. It just sounds like a buzz all sped up. Because there's certainly nothing. The garbage truck is there. It's probably waiting for something. I'm not too sure. Maybe it sits and waits for the end of the day. Because the janitors do hang out later in the day than the rest of the staff. And I've actually got it paused right now. which is probably why it lasts so long. So did notice the first time when I was kind of running through the video, trying to get a feel. There was a couple of times I had to cut one or two things out where I was checking time, or I had a notification pop up while I was recording, which was very frustrating. But you don't really notice it in the speed build. The one or two things I did managed to cut out quite nicely. So what was I just building right there? So those are the additional classrooms. I think I'm just about to add the additional teachers. We'll see where they are here shortly. They're adding some potted plants. I think this is where I added the clocks as well. There's also a bulletin board that I had to add. Those are all new to me anyways. I could be wrong. They could have been in there, and I just never got to that particular grant. So this is the start of the third day. I think this would be the last day that I was building in it. I could have added more workers, I think, to speed up the building process, but then they would have been costing me more money. So we'll have to see how that goes. This is the gender neutral toilet coming up here. It's something it's a relevant issue these days. Never was when I was a kid. This is something new as well. Is paths for the janitors, very reminiscent of the guard paths in Prison Architect. I don't know. It made me a little nervous that if I put the janitors on a path, whether they'd be actually checking the rooms along that path. It's something we keep an eye on if they're just following what's in those hallways, or if I've actually got to get them going into the rooms. Yeah, so there's a few other things. Oh yeah, I built the library down there, office there. That office is for the counselor. I don't know what function the counselor has. I think that's another new staff member. This is me going around picking the new teachers for the other classrooms. There is a scheduling screen where I guess you can move classrooms around from which grade is doing which class at which time. But with this number of classrooms, I needed an extra set of teachers to make sure every class was moving at the right speed. You see, I think I got, what was it, 6 out of the 7 or 5 out of the 6. And then I ran a little low on money, so I went and finished off a few more grants. So I built the computer room up here, and then you can also see the staff toilet, or sorry, just above the staff toilet. I doubled up on the staff room and the there's the garbage truck for the end of this day. It was the staff room and the staff cafeteria I kind of doubled up in. This is me just sort of finishing things off as just sort of showing off everything that I've built, because this is pretty much it. I have probably just enough dollars to start the next day and get through. I think it's going to cost me $9,000 per day, and I've got about $11,000 on me, so I think that is pretty good. So this was this is going to get me set up to start this proper school day starting next episode. So this was Academia School Simulator. This was a speed build in Alpha 2, basically to get me back to where I was before, so I can start with all the fun new stuff that's been introduced. Though there was quite a few new stuff in this video, a couple new rooms, a couple new items. Hopefully we'll be able to take a little bit closer look at them in the next episode. So please like and subscribe. Again, I am Jackal Wolf, and you can follow me on Twitter @JackalWolf, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.